Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to make your crush think about you non-stop. So this is a really interesting one. And the reason why I say this is that it's actually really easy and really simple to implement. So basically, if you want a crush to be thinking about you, especially if this is perhaps a crush that you've probably already given interest in, perhaps they may have put you in friend zone, perhaps you've already asked them out and they rejected you, then basically the best thing that you need to do in order for them to be thinking about you and be curious about you is to be a lot more mysterious and not let what's happened, what's transpired between you two affect you. And basically be displaying that you're not bothered by the fact that perhaps they don't like you, perhaps, that they've friend zoned you and stuff. And if you remain unaffected and you don't let it bother you, then they're going to be really curious about you because you've basically said to them perhaps at one point that you're interested in them and they rejected you, but you continue on as normal. Like you're still happy when you're around them, you're still happy to see them, you always give them a friendly hello, you look normal, you look happy, you look positive, and that's going to really make them question their decision about not wanting to be with you because they're like, oh, I thought they really liked me, I thought they would be mopey, because that's what most people do. Like you've probably seen these kinds of situations where someone has a crush and the crush rejects them and then they're acting sad and mopey all the time, and perhaps they're even a bit passive aggressive to their crush, perhaps they start being mean to their crush who rejected them, and you can just tell it's bothering them so much, like they're completely been beaten up inside basically. But if you want your crush to think of you differently and to be wondering about you, then you need to act in the complete opposite as someone who has been rejected. Like you need to just continue as you were basically and be really happy and positive, and just be genuinely happy and be happy with your life. And the key word there is genuinely. Like you genuinely need to feel like, oh, okay, you can't let it bother you too much, right? And basically what this means is you just get to a mindset shift. Now, of course, it does sting no matter what if you get rejected. Like, I'm not saying that it should not affect you at all. But, your attitude towards it is really important. Like, yeah, when someone rejects you, it stings. But how you react to that and how you move forward is what's really going to make the difference. And if you see it as, okay, we're just not compatible, she or he doesn't like me, my crush doesn't like me, that's fine. Now I know, at least now I know that I can now move on and start focusing on other men, women that I do actually really like and who will really like me back. Because sure, this crush rejected me or isn't showing the same feelings as I am, but at least now I know. At least now I know that I need to focus on other people. In fact, they've given me a gift because now I know that I no longer should be wasting my time on that person. I shouldn't be focusing on them in a romantic way anymore. I should be moving on. And that's the gift, basically, that every rejection gives you. That's, the kind of like the if for any kind of failure in life as well. Like if you experience failure, no matter what it is, like you come second place or third place or last place, what is that showing you? Each time you fail in anything, there is a benefit in there. There's a secret benefit, a seed of an equivalent benefit in each failure that happens. And all you need to do is just look for it. Just find out how is this actually benefiting me? What's good about this? Asking those kinds of questions. And when you're dealing with a crush, if you think to yourself, okay, so this person rejected me, that hurt. Yeah, sure. I thought they were really cute. I really wanted to date them. They're not interested in me. Okay, so they're not for me. They're not the right one. And I'm no longer going to focus my attention on them. I'm just going to focus my attention on people that are enthusiastic about dating me. And this is what's ultimately actually going to paradoxically make that crush actually wonder about you, and because they're going to see that you've dealt with this really gracefully and you've been really nice about it. You're not, treating them any differently. You're not being mean to them, or you're not acting mopey around them or sad, or you keep on, trying to get with them even though they've rejected you. As long as you don't do any of that kind of stuff, they're going to be like, oh, okay, that's weird. That's not usually the kind of response I get, because they're probably used to people being mopey around them, or they may be expecting you to have another second try at them or something like that. But if you do the exact opposite of that, that's what's ultimately going to make them more curious about you and wonder what happened. And they're probably actually going to think that you're a really cool person as well. They're probably actually going to really like you. They might not like you in the romantic way, and they probably, if they've already rejected you and they don't see you in that way, there's not really much they can do about their attraction for you. But they may see you as a really cool person and may really think that you're a nice, genuine, cool individual because you're being cool about it, right? You're not letting it bother you. And they who knows, that there might be a case that they may change their mind about you. They may develop an attraction for you once they see how strong you are emotionally, because you haven't let you come off center. It hasn't made you miserable or changed your behavior. They can see that you're strong and that you haven't really changed who you are because of what's happened. And that's what's going to really, make them question what they did, basically, and think about it. And it may not be the case that they will, change their mind and ask you out, but they'll definitely second guess themselves for a little bit and question what happened, and they'll definitely like you for it and respect you for it. And that's ultimately the best way to leave those kinds of interactions. That's the best way to leave that kind of stuff from happening. That's the best way to kind of leave those situations, with the other person, respecting you and thinking that you're really cool and down to earth and, decent, basically. Another thing that's going to really help as well is if you're really trying to authentically live your best life. And I talk about this all the time because this is ultimately what I want for anyone who comes across my channel to start doing. And that is, trying to imagine, what kind of life that you would like to be living. Because it might not be the case that you're happy with where you are. You might be not in the kind of job that you want. You might not be living in the kind of place that you want to be living at. You might even be living in the kind of country that you want to be living in. But ultimately, I want for you to be living your best life. I want you to be figuring out basically what it is that you want, having a goal in life, having some kind of definite chief aim that you're aiming towards, and working towards that every day, or at least as often as you can, so you can live the kind of life that you want to live, that you can at least be happy and content with your life. And if you are at a place where you have a great social life, you have great connections with your family and friends, you have a few hobbies that you really enjoy, perhaps you've got some side projects that you're working on, those things are really going to make you different. Because if you haven't really got much going on and you're just focused on finding someone to settle down with, then you need to have more going on in your life basically than trying to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You need to have other things that you're happy about, that you're striving for, that bring you a lot of meaning and purpose. And that should be what you're doing. You should be focusing on your purpose in life. Now, it might be the case that you do genuinely want to be in a relationship because you want to be a family person. Perhaps that's your chief aim. You want to be a really great mum or dad. Perhaps that's one of your goals. But you should have other areas of your life that mean a lot to you. Because if you've got just one thing that's important to you, then you're going to fall back on a lot of different areas. You're going to fall back on your work. You're not going to care as much about other things, perhaps like finances or something. So you need to have a lot of things that fill up your life. You need to have a good social life. You need good, relationship with money. You need a career that you enjoy. You need hobbies. You need lots of different things to make your life really abundant and fulfilling for you. And once you kind of tick all the boxes for those kinds of things and you're living the kind of life that you want, then you're going to come across much more relaxed, much more on purpose, much more enthusiastic, much more ambitious. And, people are often more attracted to people who are more ambitious, who have purpose, who are striving for things in life. And the reason why that is because a lot of people don't do that sort of thing. You'll be a very unique and interesting individual if you have a very interesting life, or at least a life that you find interesting. Because it doesn't matter what I think about what you're doing. All that matters, or what anyone else thinks of what you're doing, actually. All that matters is what you think about what you're doing. And now, if you genuinely like your life and the way that it's running, then that's brilliant, because you will feel happy, and that's how you know. If you're happy a lot of the time, then you know that you're, living a good life, that you're living a life that you're proud of. But if you're miserable a lot of the time, then there's probably a few things that are missing that you need to be focusing on. And it could be a purpose, it could be some kind of thing that you're working towards, it could be a goal that you've got, it could be, having a better social life. Because sometimes I feel like we isolate ourselves so much. But if you get out there into the world and start talking to people and start making better connections, more friends, those kinds of things really do help and genuinely make you feel a lot more relaxed, a lot more confident in yourself by having those other areas of your life sorted out and you're working towards those areas. And I feel like if you kind of nail that, or at least, you start working towards having a better life for yourself, you're going to be so much more different to the other people that your crush may be interacting with, because you're going to be a lot more relaxed, you're going to be a lot more happy and content with your life, and people are definitely going to notice that. People are definitely going to notice the difference in you, because you are much more happier, much more fulfilled. And it may be the case that you may even get a few people to change their mind about you, especially, and it could be that you could change your crush's mind about you if you start working towards those things that are really, really important to you, or at least trying to find something that's important to you, that makes you happy to get out of bed in the morning, that makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning, because you're so focused on creating this brilliant life for yourself. So, get clear on what kind of life you would like to live and start working towards that. Start trying to take action on what that might be for you, so you can actually get there. And those are ultimately, what some of the things that's going to make your crush really, really start thinking about you in a different way. If they do have attraction for you, then they'll probably change their mind about you. And if not, then at least they'll start respecting you and think that you're a really cool, down-to-earth individual, which is probably the best way to leave that kind of situation. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.